Welcome to FM 2.0 Conversation. This is the Don. With me, I've got Tina, CEO of PressPlay, the app. I'll let Tina talk a little bit about that and what we do. You know,
So PressPlay is an application that brings music lovers together. So I highly recommend you go sign up and check it out and, get on there, fill out your song story and, find people that share your vibe. Also want to bring up the merch for FM 2.0 and PressPlay. You can go to pressplay.me or fm2.0.com and get some PressPlay and FM 2.0 merch. Especially you want to get some FM 2.0 merch because it's limited edition right now. So yeah, check that out.
you can look cool like me.
And
I'm kidding. Well, anyway, thank you, Tina.
you're welcome.
You should buy some of my merch. It says Reloaded 2.0. Everything is 2.0.
Oh, really? So we'll talk about your merch, Aldo Nova. Why don't we do that? Where can people find your stuff?
You can find it on my shop at aldonovarocks.com. And I sell everything: t-shirts, records, pics, pictures. Although I don't know why anybody would want my picture, but it's okay. And it's like I sell them anyway. So they advised me. Those are old pictures. I don't look that good anymore. So it's like,
You look fabulous.
But no, and in fact, if you got, I want to get a shirt. You said it's Reloaded 2.0.
that's what it says. It's got 2 guitars.
I am going to order one.
Sure.
I am.
Yeah, I'm going to too. That's awesome.
So we're here, as you can tell, with the great Aldo Nova.
Great.
It is an honor. It is an honor. I know Tina definitely excited too, and she'll have more to say. I just, for myself, with you and your music, we're talking about the MTV generation, of which I am, and I will tell you that when I heard your song come on, either on MTV or on the radio, it was one of those songs that you never turn off and turn up. And every time it was on, whether you're driving down the road or just sitting in your bedroom with the headphones on, Fantasy was just a song that it was just came in at the right time at the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think about the impact of the music scene that you had on the music scene when that hit?
Well, I didn't know the impact that it had on the music scene. First of all, when I wrote Fantasy, I didn't like the song. I didn't even know if I was going to be on the record. It only became a great song when we started going into the mixing process of it, and Tony Bongiovi went and mixed the song and gave it that bombastic tom sound and stuff like that. Then it really illuminated the record. Apart from that, the song was, never in a million years did I think it would last 43 years. And that still would be like the biggest song in my live show and anywhere. Everybody knows that song around the world. So it's like, it's good. That's good. And that was great.
Well, I hit the button. All right, Tino, how about you with Fantasy and Aldo Nova?
Okay, so a little bit of a confession. Are you ready, Aldo?
Go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things we also have is we do a song story. It's actually it's part of the app that you go into, but it's also a game that PressPlay sells. And one of the questions that we ask is, what is the first piece of music you ever purchased with your own money? Okay. And the first piece of music I ever purchased with my own money was Aldo Nova on cassette. And I did that, and I actually have a whole TikTok about it. When I very first got on TikTok, this was several years ago, I brought this up and I showed it. It's a really cool TikTok. And basically, my boyfriend at the time really loved the song Fantasy, and he played it for me the first time. I loved it so much. I went out and I the next day and I bought the cassette, and I know every word to every song on that album. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that album became like sort of it's like kind of a classic album. The cover is like the want to be Rockstar mode, which is like me with the pouty lips. I think I invented the selfie duck lips, I think, and I don't know, it had everything. The video was like quirky, the helicopters, the sound effects, the leopard suit. It took me a long time to break that leopard suit mold, but I mean, it's like, it was something, it was a look, so it had everything going for it. So I was lucky.
So every time that comes up, that's the answer that I have, just so you know. And so I get to talk about you a lot and your music. And actually, I followed you through, and I think the last one I picked up was Twitch. And I have been following you for a long time, and I absolutely adore your music. And until here recently, I didn't realize how much what other things you were doing, like working with Celine Dion and writing other songs for other people. I personally think you're an amazing songwriter.
Oh,
So
thank you.
your songs have definitely made it through the years with me, and I still listen to them to this very day. It's
Thank,
my
thank you very
playlist.
much. I also put out, it's weird that I put out 5 albums in 2022 and nobody knows about them, but they're,
Talk
it's,
about.
yeah, one is a piece, one is a 10-song EP for my rock opera. I've been writing a rock opera for the last 17 years, and it looks like it's going to make it to Broadway after all this time. It's called The Life and Times of Eddie Gage. That's good. So I did that. I did Reloaded, which I revamped all my songs from my first album, songs first and second album. And then I re-put out Nova's Dream, which came out in 1994. And I put out 2 new songs, 2 new albums, 3-song EPs, which were just all new old songs, some that I had in my library on hard drives and stuff that was instrumental music. 2022 was a very productive year for me. And then I started touring in 2023. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you're coming to a town near me, actually. I already have tickets before we even set this up, but you're coming, I believe it's to Wabash, to the, what's the theater there? You're coming with Quiet Riot. I'm not going to see Quiet Riot. Not that but I saw Aldo Nova and I was like, because I was talking actually to some mutual friends of ours, and we were having this discussion about Aldo Nova, and Charlie said, I know him. And I was like, what? And so, yeah, I get to come see you live for the first time in my life. So I am
That's great.
really looking forward to that. And I am so
Thank you very
glad
much.
that you are touring.
Yeah, I've been touring now since 2022. I did most of them in 2023. And in 2024, I did about 10, 15 shows in the States. And 2025, we're only doing about 10 shows, but more shows are coming.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've got a great band. They're all from the U.S. All U.S. musicians from all over the place. My guitar player's from Jersey. My bass player's from San Diego. And now he lives in Tijuana. My keyboard player's from Las Vegas. My drummer's from Florida. So everybody's from the States except me.
How did you find all of your instrumentalists that are these friends of yours that you've known throughout the years, or are they new people?
No, not at all. The guitar player started writing me emails at 12 o'clock noon on, I forget what year, and he had seen a video of mine from a song called Survivor, and he said, I absolutely have to absolutely play with you. And he bombarded me with emails, links, this and that, and we got along so well that at 2 o'clock, I already hired him. I had never met the guy. And the bass player, one of my bass players was Tim Gaines. He not quit, but he decided not to be on the road anymore because of his family. So at midnight, Jack gave me the guitar player's name, gave me Dario, which is the bass player's name, phone number. I called him up and we got along great. And then I arranged to do 3 songs from my Eddie Gage album, and I spent $75,000 on the budget of that just to get everything done. And I flew in Jack and Dario, and we had never met in person. And I took a risk, and this was during COVID on top of that, so it's like I didn't
Wow.
know if they're going to make it through, but I had never met them, and then we just got along great. The synchronicity, the way we got together, the way we get along, it's more of a family. That's the way I like to keep it. I like to keep it more of a family vibe rather than just hired musicians. So the musicians are as highlighted as I am. They do whatever they want.
Right.
So
Can I ask you? There's a couple of things as you were talking that triggered something in my head. One is being a Canadian artist breaking in the early 80s. Who do you think paved the way in Canada to get your music to the States?
there's a lot of bands. April One, even the Guess Who, Brackman Turner Overdrive. But I'm playing a show. I'm opening up for Brackman Turner Overdrive on August 30th in St. Charles, Missouri. So that'll be a trip for me, because growing up.
It's wild because I'm doing an entire piece with Gary Peterson, the founding member of the Guess Who, drummer, and we're doing like a 13-part series. And there was that period in the late 60s and early 70s. The Guess Who was the band that
They were huge. They even had their own TV show, like the Monkees. It was like the Beatles. They had their own TV show, and up here, they wrote a lot of great songs. American Woman, These Eyes. I mean, April Wine also was big in the States. They had that song, She's a Roller, and they still tour back and forth year after year, and in Canada. Good friends of mine. and excited to play in front of Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Oh yeah, well, Randy Bachman, right? Also a member of the Guess Who.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, I love that. The other thing I wanted to bring up was regarding your rock opera.
Hmm.
It's 14 years you've been working on that.
17.
17 years.
And these count.
Well, you know what's wild about that? You think about my favorite records of all time is what you'd call a concept album, which is like a rock opera, like Tommy, Who's Tommy, Pinball Wizard, and all that on there was very much a rock opera. Reich's Operation Mindcrime, Pink Floyd's The Wall. You know, these things conceptually, you know, you could actually take them and make a thing out of them.
Right.
A rock opera perspective, what made you sit down and go, you know, I really want to bring this to life? Like, I just see, did you have a vision?
At the beginning, I wanted to put an album out. The album is 24 songs and lasts 2 hours and 5 minutes. So when I put out the EP, and what happens now, since it's such a social, it's not the way it used to be with like promotion and things like that. So the record went pretty much unnoticed, like Reloaded. So I decided to just the 2 hour show, I wanted to put it out live, and now it's being shot for Broadway and actually for a big stage. So, and that's the only way it's going to be released, for a big stage. And it deals about a guy who's, of course, he's a guitar player and rockstar, but it's all metaphysical. It's also supernatural, and all these elements that come in. It's not just, you know, the redeemed rock star, drugs, falls down, gets up. Yeah, it's a lot deeper story than that.
Is it kind of your life? I mean, did you at one point as a musician get into the supernatural and the metaphysical and all that fun stuff? Did you explore all of those fun avenues?
No, I explored a lot of avenues, but I know all about it, but I don't want to mess with that. I mean, it's like it's a lot more real than you think it is. So I don't mess with it, and I know better. I've seen people who did mess with it, and you know, both the supernatural and aspects of that, or even the drugs and things like that. And that's scary, you know, especially when you read about that stuff. I'm not interested.
And I'll come back to it just because it ties into the first record. You have a song "Monkey on Your Back," which is
On that subject, that's the second album.
I'm sorry, the second album that deals with that topic.
It deals. It was the first probably anti-drug song, rock anti-drug song. It was against drugs. It was against heroin, and that's what "Monkey on Your Back" means. You got a monkey on your back. You're addicted. Yeah, that's what it was about. Fantasy was about my experience. The first time I went to New York, it was about being on 42nd Street and seeing all the hookers and pimps and drug, you know, dealers and lights and things like that. That it was the seedy side of New York. So I wrote about it. So everything that I write about is pretty much it's fiction. It's not fiction. It's nonfiction. It's something that I've either lived or I've been through. I don't write the rain in Spain is you know, just, you know, gently on the plane. I can't write songs like that. My songs are even a song like for Celine Dion, which was "A New Day Has Come," which is also another classic song. That was about her and having a child. So I wrote that song specifically for her, which is pregnant. So everything is true to life. There's no pretty much fiction.
Which brings me to my next question. So, on your Aldo Nova album, there's a lot of love songs in there. There's a lot of heartbreak and love and all that kind of fun stuff. And I think that's why, as a young teenager, I connected with it so much, because it was full of emotion. What was going on in your life then that gave you the power to write that kind of music? I mean, it's fantastic.
Actually, it wasn't more difficult than I was going out with the stripper, and she wasn't too loyal, as I can say. There's more, you know, it's like there's different words I can use for it, but she used to cheat on me constantly. So I was like, I don't know, I was in love madly. I was sort of a affective dependent, they call that. So I would put my emotions and things like that. But it's more anger and hate and fooling yourself is about, you know, or it's too late, or songs about it's over. And then Ball and Chain is, again, it's a song where it's a love song, but it's like love is like a ball and chain. So it's like not really, they're not positive songs. They're not negative songs. There are songs about being free. You know, it's too late. It's like, you know, go your own way and I'll go mine. And fooling yourself if you think you want me back. Well, you're fooling yourself. And it's just Under the Guns. That's a story which was inspired by Christopher Cross's Ride Like the Wind. So I was pretty much influenced all by all my other bands. So there was a girl there, and she at least owns half the royalties. She deserves half the royalties on that record, from that record. I mean, she inspired most of the records. So if I knew where she was now, it's like, I wouldn't give her the money, but she deserves it. So
At least say thank you.
You think Taylor Swift's going to give up her money to the guy she wrote about? Like you treated me like this. This is what I get. I get to reward myself.
So that brings me, you just mentioned all the artists that had, given you some steam, but I want to know, what is the first piece of music you purchased with your own money as a young man?
God, let me see. My first piece of music that I purchased as a young man was Chicago's first album with 25 or 64 on it, because it had a very simple guitar riff. So you could actually play it on one string. So that was the first album that I bought. That, and also that guitar, they had a guitar player called Terry Cass, and the solo in 2564 is is a monster solo. So that was very influential on me. And then I went on to Hendrix. Hendrix was already a big influence in my playing. When I was before that, I wanted to learn how to play guitar. So everybody starts with Peter Gunn and the theme from Peter Gunn, and then probably 25 or 64. So that was the first, actual LP I bought.
Wow, that's so fun.
You want to know a fun fact, everyone, that many may not know? That Aldo Nova helped write the riff on Blaze of Glory with Bon Jovi.
Right.
That's so cool.
Right.
Am I right?
I actually did all the arrangements, and I did all the demos for that album in John's basement for the first. It was just him and an acoustic guitar and me. And for Blaze of Glory, what happened is that Friday afternoon he called me. He had to deliver a piece of music for Monday morning to the producers of Young Guns 2. So on Friday, I went to his house and we put a tape on. He put his tape recorder on and he played the acoustic version of Blaze of Glory, and had no intro and no things like that. And then I played him an intro and he liked it. And then I went home and then I had to do the demo for the song, which is like a really sketch, but my sketches sound like records. So what you hear on the record sounds exactly like my first demo. If you look on YouTube, you can see Blaze of Glory first demo ever. You'll hear me and John in the room with an acoustic guitar, and you'll hear me do the riff, and that's how it came out. So it went from just an acoustic guitar and a voice to the full-blown demo, then the record, which became the demo. Everybody just copied the parts. So, and then I went to his house for about a month and a half in the basement, and we did all the demos for everything else, which were copied. So
Tina, we gotta interject this into the interview when we post it, like these songs that we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Leave it in, because the whole Blaze of Glory thing is a wild story. And then you also did something with Elton John.
Elton John, we did, well, first of all, I worked with him on the Young Guns 2 record because he did Dying Ain't Much of a Living. And because I speak French and Italian, I have a lot of European roots. And European chords, especially the French chords, they have a sad chord with a minor ninth in it. And if you listen to Dying Ain't Much of a Living, it's got that chord in it. And the way the producer had made the charts, which is the music, he didn't exactly put those notes in. He just put F. Actually, instead of putting E, he put F flat. So it was like Elton John was lost. So I actually showed him how to do that thing, and then we became, it's on film somewhere. I think Mark Weiss has that whole thing, which I'd love to get a copy of. But yeah, and then I worked on Two Rooms, the songs of Elton John, so I did that. And that's when I got to meet George Martin. So I met pretty much a lot of people that I really wanted to meet.
Is there anyone that you haven't met yet that you'd still like to meet and
No.
work with?
I'm not starstruck by anybody. To me, everybody is pretty much the same. I enjoy, sitting around the table with people, telling jokes as much as going out and playing rock shows or just meeting a star. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't, to me, everybody's on the same playing field. There's nobody better than anybody else. We're all human beings, and that's where it starts and it ends,
I have to agree with that.
With the way you've seen the music industry, you've been in it a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think we're at now? Like, what's the future of music? Like, there's always the question: is rock dead?
Rock isn't dead. As a matter of fact, all my kids, even when they were my son, he's now 27. I have 3 kids. One is 36, one is 33, and one is 27. My 27-year-old used to be heavily into rap and trap music and things like that, and now listens only to classic rock. And everybody's into classic rock. And when I do these festivals, there's thousands, tens of thousands of people that come there, and they all want to listen to classic rock. As a matter of fact, something which pisses me off the most is because a lot of these bands don't have any of the original members, but they just have their name, and the people go and see them just to hear the songs. That's how bad it is. Which is why I'm doing a new record called "This Is Your Reality," and I call it new classic rock. It sounds like classic rock, but it's all new songs. So that should be coming out in 2025 and 2026.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's really something else.
Yeah, there's actually my kids, I have also 32, 28, and 25, and they've all showed me a channel on Sirius XM that plays like 80s sounding music, but it's new music.
Really,
that was fascinating. Yeah.
That's it. That's why I made my new record, because if I saw that all the people in the crowd, they want it. That's all they're looking for. So I figured I'm going to do new music that sounds like that. So there's one song that sounds like fantasy, which is called "This Is Your Reality," which is the answer to "Life Is Just a Fantasy." So
that's what we try to do at FM 2.0 is we're bringing back rock, stars rock music that brings back that, that feel, and just bringing back the Rockstar period and the rock sound. We love it, don't we, Don?
No, we bring it up because we don't believe it is. We see it enough. We see it enough. Also placements, like for example, Cobra Kai on Netflix, which is basically a continuation of Karate Kid.
Exactly.
They threw in Silent Lucidity by Queensryche. It charted to like #1.
Really?
Yeah, here's a song that, and you see young people going, "Oh my God, who is this band? What is this song?" So it's funny how then generationally songs just keep coming back. All it takes is a placement or something in a game or something in a movie, and boom, it's back charting.
Well, you're talking about new music today, and new music today is, I watch a guy called Rick Beato, and new music is dead because there's no songs. There's no songs. There's no hooks. What is there that grabs your ear and says, "I want to listen to that song again"? I can't, he does his top 10 Spotify. It's awful. It's completely awful.
Who was it?
What?
Yeah, we were just talking to somebody about how AI is writing music, and I think is it Spotify that is looking into actually replacing musicians with AI music?
Well,
they're doing this huge, study about it.
Well, AI is, first of all, it'll never match a human being creativity, because when I write lyrics that are to me or my vision of the world and the way it is, and I write with modulations and things like that, and I change keys, and the instrumentation is different all the time. My voice is kind of unique, and I doubt that anyway. I'm my own AI. Even if you went to my first album, I played everything, I did everything. So I was like, artificial intelligence back then. So now I have no intelligence. So it's like, I listen to AI music.
You don't have an Alexa?
So now I listen to AI music, and it has only a certain. You put the description in, and what's stopping somebody out of 7-8 billion people on the planet to put in that same description somewhere? It's just like, I want a song that's slow with a heavy rock voice, a high pitched rock song with a modulation in the lyric that talks about a love song. I want a love song that writes about a breakup of a man and a woman. So what's stopping somebody in 8 billion people on the planet? You know, let's say 60 million people are dealing with AI. The same description is going to come up. And I've listened to stuff on AI. It's always the same voice. You know, I have a couple of certain voice. It sounds amazing, but it sounds almost too perfect. And you can hear the difference. There's always a metallic sound to it.
What you just said there is so important because some of the greatest records, and I'm sure you've done it too, you'll leave in maybe a mistake that happened in the studio or an imperfection. I know, like a couple of times, if you listen to Led Zeppelin, Bonham's hi-hat, it's heard. Probably didn't mean to leave it in there. They did. There's things that happen human-wise that wind up on a record that are so important. Where it's not perfect. I think perfect takes away from the human element.
I always leave my mistakes in. But I mean, AI is like this. There was one song, my song, This Is Your Reality from a new album on it. I worked 7 months on 7 months to get it perfect. So, you know, I changed things. I left the mistakes I leave in, but it was just to get the mix right, to get everything right, to get my voice to sound right, to have a special sound, to make it sound like me. You know, it took me 7 months to finish the song. So AI spits it out like that, but I doubt that it can ever be as good as a human being. But for today's music, even today, there's like I write all my songs by myself, words, lyrics. I play all the instruments, but nowadays, if you look at the popular music, there's 10 writers per song, and what do you do? How much of a song can you split with like 10 writers? I mean, you write a word, or who writes more words? Or if you got 3 words, you have like 11%, or how much? I don't have a clue as to how that works. I've never written a song that way. So all these songs, these new songs, there's 10 writers, and they still sound bad. The instrumentation is just machines, and there's nothing real.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of them are just written like right in the bedroom. Like they have their computer and their microphone, and that's sometimes a keyboard. But other than that, there's nothing else. I've seen it happen.
Of course. Now you don't even need a computer. You just go to a site and just punch in your description, and it'll spit out a song. And what happens though, what I've noticed on YouTube, there was a guy that made a thing, is that he tried to put up one of his songs, and AI claimed copyright, put a copyright claim on it because it resembled one of the songs that they had come up with, but just a tiny little fraction of it. It sounded like the same chord progression. AI put a copyright claim on the songs. So it's getting to that point. And record companies, speaking of AI, since they have to pay so many, you know, they have to pay people royalties on records sold and things like that. Now they're trying to fight AI, but at a certain point they were contemplating the fact of, since artists cost so much money and where the records distribution, we have to put them up, why don't we come up with AI artists of our own and just create our own AI? And that was consideration, although now they're starting to fight for the rights of the artists, because they have catalogs. I mean, Sony they buy catalogs, and they have thousands and thousands of albums of the best music in the world. So they keep making money nonstop off that stuff. You know, AI music is, I don't know, it's disposable music. It's like a Big Mac. It tastes good for 5 seconds, and you regret it 2 minutes after you eat it. So I don't know.
I mean, you just said it, like Pink Floyd sold their entire catalog for more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime, right?
Yeah, but they'd already made more money than that before they sold their catalog. So
point is, a record label, entertainment company wouldn't do it if they didn't see. So AI would be a threat to that.
Exactly.
So shit.
I don't believe in AI. Like I said, AI will never replace a real human being, real playing, real the creativity of human. Go ahead.
Music comes from God.
Yeah, exactly. That comes from down below. So I mean,
like that.
I don't know. I mean, creativity is it's like a flow. When I get a song, I just got a block, boom, and I hold all the arrangements. The hook is there, and then I have to spend days and days just putting down what I hear in my head. And it's so difficult sometimes. I mean, my stuff, it's like down to the hi-hat, I hear it, down to the hits on the hi-hat. That's how precise it is. So,
You know,
and I
honestly,
don't, go ahead.
I was interrupting you. I apologize.
And I can't deviate from that. In other words, if I do, I feel like I'm making something or just something wrong because the music is so perfect. So
I think that's, to me, that's kind of what I focus in on when I listen to music or an artist, especially artists that write their own music. Because I mean, my belief system is it is a download. It came from somewhere otherworldly, and not everybody gets that same download. And I feel like music is one of the things that they talk about in the Bible, how the one thing that you take with you is love. And if you love music and you come back, I also believe in some other weird things, but like music is one of the things that we continuously bring back. And to me, like you see that in even small children when they're sitting there upright for the first time and they're bopping when they hear music, they dance and they know what music is instinctively. And so when you meet a musician, someone who actually takes that one step further and is able to turn that feeling or that knowing into sound and lyrics and melodies, to me, that is just fantastic.
exactly. When I hear a song coming in my head, and when I finally hear it coming out of the speakers, I feel like it's like God talking to me. It's like incredible. It's an incredible feeling.
I got goosebumps.
I know. So tell me a little bit about Celine Dion. How was that working with her?
Well, Celine Dion, she's, like I said, I wrote 15 songs for Celine Dion. I started working with her when she was like 14 years old. I did her first album with her in French when she got signed to CBS. And I was sort of responsible for her writing the song and producing the song that got her an English deal. When she performed, this song is called Have a Heart, and she performed that on the Juno Awards. And so that, when she did that song, I coached on how, she barely knew how to speak English. So I coached everything she sang and the way she used to sing it. And she did that song and she did an amazing rendition. If you look on YouTube and look at Celine Dion on the Juno Awards, Have a Heart, the version she does and the way she sings it is really, really spectacular. So from that point, they were fighting for it to get that thing. And I was very, very tight with her husband, her manager. And every time he needed a song, he comes to me. And I did, I don't know, 5 songs in French, 10 songs in English. On Taking Chances, I had 5 songs, which is the only. Linda Perry had 2, and everybody had 1 song. And so I felt fortunate. She is probably one of the top 5 vocalists in the world. She's right up there with Barbra Streisand. So I feel honored that she did it. I feel sad for what's happening to her now, but I won a Grammy for working with her, which is great. It's in the house. It's impressive. I keep it in the basement hidden, but it's not bad.
Hidden. When I want to see it, I go look at it.
That's right.
Beautiful. Well, I could tell you, Aldo Nova, that I just want to thank you again. I think for Tina and I, for you coming up with music that has affected us. I mean, you heard Tina being a teenager and how special that is when that first record you get and how it affects you emotionally. And you're responsible for that. I am definitely going to sit down and listen to your rock opera. And I mean, proper.
You can get it. It's called The Life and Times of Eddie Gage, the 10-song EP. It's on my website if you want to get it. Buy it on the website. Don't buy it on Amazon because they're charging like $36 for 10 songs. It's ridiculous. So go buy it there and listen to it. It's really something. But that's only 10 songs out of 24 songs. But it's a variety. You'll see it's pretty good.
Wait, only 10. Where are the rest of them?
Where are the rest of them?
You said there's 24 songs?
Yeah.
Only 10 on those?
10, yeah.
Where's the rest of them?
Where's the 14?
Where's the 14? Well, they're going to be put in the live Broadway. They're still.
Oh, I see.
10 is only there to give you a taste.
A teaser.
Yeah. You have to hear the whole 24 songs together. They don't really work as one song.
And build up to the Broadway show.
Right. That's it. I wanted to put it out the whole thing as a record, but then I said no. It's going to get wasted.
That is brilliant. Because when you get ready, so that's something we'll help promote when you're ready to do the Broadway show, because we'll get people to go, Now we're gonna have a listening. These 10 songs first.
Right. You can buy it. You could have bought it in April 1st of I put it out on the 40th anniversary of my first album. So I put it out April 1st, 2020. So it has sort of a meaning. Yeah, you can go buy it. It's called 11 Times Better Gauge, a 10-song EP. Great cover, great pictures.
Now the other one you talked about, the follow-up to Fantasy, Life is Just Reality.
This is your reality, yeah. That's coming out. That's probably coming out early 2026.
Ooh,
Hmm? Oh, I'll have it.
Okay.
I love it. Well, and so have you done real quick, have you done a rock cruise before?
I just did one, Monsters of Rock Cruise.
Did you?
Yeah. I came home with double pneumonia.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What'd you do that for? Were you bored?
No, it's just I signed a lot of autographs and I met people, which I love doing. And for some reason, there must have been one guy who had a bug. A lot of people came off that boat sick. So, but I had double pneumonia. I was
Double pneumonia.
I was messed up. I was really messed up. My wife got it also on. Yeah, but I talked to people that were sick also.
What's double pneumonia mean? Both lungs?
Both lungs.
Oh, goodness. Did you have to go to the hospital for that?
No, but they gave me two doses of antibiotics to take at the same time. So
Oh my. So what other bands were on the cruise with you?
it's about everybody in the sisters was 35.
Yeah. Wow. That would be fun.
Imagine being on a cruise ship with Aldo Nova.
Right? That would be so fun.
Wait for that.
I'm looking forward to seeing him live. So
He'll be wearing an N95 mask the next time he goes.
For
Any
sure.
closing thoughts, Tina, before we do the station break deal?
No, I think I'm just grateful that you're here with us today. I'm grateful that you took time out of your Sunday to spend a little time with us and talk with us about music. I think if I did have any one last question, it might be, we talked a little bit about where music is going. We know that AI and some of the things that they're doing, but if you could make it go a specific way, what would you do? Like, if there's something that we don't have yet, what would that be to bring it into reality, to make musicians happier, to bring music lovers and musicians back together like they were, a long time ago, and not so far apart as far as streaming.
I think it should go back. Radio should go back to playing records, and record companies should go back to promoting albums and promoting bands. There's no lack of talent. There's no lack of anything. There's no reason to have AI, except the fact that people can do it, and it's going to go. It's going to go nuts, and people are going to get sick of it, and they're already sick of it. There's no reason. There's still amazing musicians. I know better songwriters and better musicians than me that haven't had a chance. So record companies should have A&R archives and artists and relations that should go and find these guys. And they found me in Montreal and some in the studio because of a demo tape. And had I been today, that wouldn't exist. So it's got to go back to radio. It's got to go back to hard press. It's got to go back to promotion.
First of all, again, thank you very much for being here. And Don thanks you. PressPlay thanks you. And FM 2.0 definitely thanks you for being here. Thank you so much. I look forward to see you in Wabash, Indiana.
Okay. I'll see you there.
All right.
Bye.
See you. Thanks. Bye-bye.